Good morning. Hope you're all safe and well. I talked to you this morning about safety. Health and safety. I don't mean safety for small elves. See that behind me? It used to say no to the poll tax. Up above me there, I spoke to you from there a couple of weeks ago. That was the Thatcher out bridge. So I shall call this my political bridge. This will be the political bridge. Now then, safety. There's lots of whining, lots of arguing, lots of one-upmanship concerned with safety. Lots of people, especially online, concern themselves with the safety of others. Lots of governments over the years have tried to save people from themselves. Now some of it's good, I'm not knocking it in principle. Sometimes you need to stop the child from putting his fingers in the electric socket. Sometimes. But now, I want to link that up with a little story. It's got a point to this, bear with it. A man called Fred Hill. Most of you that are motorcyclists will know the story of Fred Hill. But bear with me while I tell the story for those that don't. Briefly, Fred Hill was a dispatch rider during World War II. He rode motorbikes and they carried important documents and plans and papers and whatnot from one place to another, often across or just behind battlefields. Very often, Fred Hill was shot at by Germans. So he did most of his motorcycling career in very, very dangerous, unsafe circumstances, right? Now obviously that was in the 40s. He continued his love and passion of motorcycling right through the 50s and 60s. And in the early 1970s, our government decided, the UK government decided, it was too dangerous anymore to allow people to ride motorcycles without an approved crash helmet. So they passed a law that said you must wear a crash helmet or you will be in contravention of the law and a constable will give you a ticket. Now Fred Hill by then had been riding motorcycles for well over 30 years. And like I said at the beginning, had been shot at by Germans. So Fred Hill decided, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing a crash helmet. I didn't have a crash helmet on when the Germans were shooting at me, and I didn't die. I've been riding motorbikes for 30 years, or whatever it was, however many years, decades, let's put it that way. And that nobody has ever killed me, and I've never come off my bike and hurt my head. So no thank you, Mr. Government person, I will not be wearing my crash helmet. Anyway, along came the aforementioned constable and gave him tickets, summonses, fines, and he went to court many times. And he didn't pay his fines because he disagreed on principle. I was shot at by the Germans and I am not going to wear your silly crash helmet. It stops me from hearing and feeling the world around me. It restricts my ability to control my motorcycle and I'm not doing it. So eventually they put him into jail, Fred Hill. They jailed him for non-payment of fines. That's what they jailed him for. And one horrible, sad day in Pentonville jail, he died. Fred died in prison because he considered his own safety to be his own business, his own personal issue, and something that the UK government or any other government should not have a say over. Now we move on to bicycles, because since I've been a bit more public with that thing, I've had a few comments off of people saying to me, you want to wear crash helmets, you need to be safe, where's your day-glow yellow clothing? You want to be seen to be safe. You are less of a man because you are not concerned with your safety. Do you not care about your grandchildren losing their grandfather? No. Stop it. It's my business. I passed my cycling proficiency test when I was 9, I passed my advanced cycling proficiency test when I was 10 and a bit. Nobody at either of those tests told me that I had to wear a helmet, so I didn't wear one. And I cycled along every morning to school because you had to pass your advanced cycling proficiency test, the red badged one, to be able to ride your cycle to the school that I went to. So I passed it. I've still got the badge. It goes on the fork of your bike if you wanted to put it on there. And I used to be quite proud of it in the early 70s, mid-70s we're talking about. And I used to have the cycling proficiency badge on one side of the fork leg and the advanced one on the other side. And I used to cycle along a section of one of the most dangerous roads in Britain, the A38 through Wellington. It was one of the reasons that they built the M5, because the traffic was so big, so bad, so heavy, there were so many accidents and deaths, that it was considered necessary to build a motorway to go past the place. I rode on that. That was my ride to school and back. And for pleasure, used to go up and see my cousins up in town. I lived at Rockwell Green. They lived up in Wellington. I'm here, and whatever injurious insult I've done to my mind, to my head, I've done from the inside out, not from the outside in. So thank you for all your sagely, kind, wonderful, scaremongering advice. But no, I will not be wearing a helmet on my bicycle. I don't believe that they properly protect you. And besides which, look at the age of me. I know I'm not the amazing Fred Hill. I have never fought for my country, and I've never been shot at by Germans. But I do feel exactly the same way as him, that regardless of whatever law and instruction and edict is passed from on high, I will consider my safety to be my business. Show me where I am ignorant, and I will be educated. But if I am educated, as in wearing a helmet on that thing, then I say no thank you. No thank you, no thank you. I ride in shorts. I mean, look at these people that do the Tour de France and all that. They're alright, they wear helmets. And if I wanted to do a triathlon, I would have to wear one. Right? Same way as if I wanted to be a priest, I'd have to wear a funny frock. Right? But they wear lycra. Now, I've come off a motorbike a few times, right? A few times. And a couple of those times, I've got up and I've had scratches on my crash helmet. So yeah, I might have bashed my head. Might have. There's an argument to be said that the weight of the helmet dragged me to the floor. But we're not getting into that. Might have. But what happened every single time was I tore my trousers, grazed my skin, hurt my arms, hurt my legs. Sort of fairly badly hurt my leg once. There you go. Now, a crash helmet wouldn't have helped that now, would it? And I had all the safety gear. There's another point of the safety. I had all the safety gear on when that accident happened in 2000. Well, that'll be a text message. It's early in the morning. That's probably my wife saying, it's too rainy, I've turned around and gone home. Now, text message. No, not text message. What was I saying? Yes, all the gear, all the time. Safety. I had leather trousers on, proper ones, proper boots, proper jackets, proper gloves, proper helmets. I worked in a motorbike shop. I've got all this stuff at a discount. Now, didn't save my leg, did it? In fact, there's a fair argument to say that if I had only had jeans on, the amputation would have been immediate at the side of the road, and I wouldn't have suffered the next month of arguing with people to try and take my leg off because there was no point fixing it. Fair argument. This happened to me. I'm not being hypothetical. So yes, that's my little rant on safety this morning. The answer, the upshot, the message, if you like, is let those who ride decide. Excuse me. If you want to ride one of them, you don't want to wear a helmet, don't wear one. And don't be fooled by people into all this chicken licking, the sky is falling in nonsense about what might happen. Lawrence of Arabia, T.E. Lawrence, he died, come off his motorbike, actually, went round a corner and there were two children playing on those things and he swerved to avoid them. Come off his motorbike and hit his head on a curb, his helmetless head. And one of his best friends was a surgeon and he said if he'd have been wearing a helmet, he'd have saved his life. How'd you know? Come on, how'd you know? Because plenty of people come off their motorbikes, hit their head on the floor in a crash helmet and get concussion, die, become all sorts of very poorly people afterwards. So by all means be safe. I promote safety myself. But choose your safety. Don't be forced into it. Don't be scared into it. Right? So there's my message today. Choose your safety. Be safe, obviously. Don't go around sticking your wet fingers in electric sockets. Don't go around holding poisonous asps up to your throat, because that's stupid. You will get harmed. But look out for yourself and one another. And don't force things on people. Eh? If you're really worried about somebody's safety, educate them. Don't bully them. That's me done. I love you all. I'll face that rain again to go home. See you later. Ta-da.